So we've learned solving systems of equations by graphing. So last week we took these two equations, graphed them, found where they intersected, and that was the solution. Well, now we're going to do that without graphing, and we're going to use a method called substitution. So I like to use something called the blob method, where we're going to make a blob and then insert the blob into the other equation to solve. So we have two equations, both in y equals form, and I'm going to choose the second equation to be the one I make the blob with because it's smaller numbers. But you can choose either one and you'll get the same answer. So you can choose equation 1 or equation 2. So I've circled everything after the equal sign, and that is my blob. Now I'm going to take everything after the equal sign and insert it into equation 1 for y. So I have y equals minus 5x plus 3, so I'm going to put in my blob, minus x minus 1 equals minus 5x plus 3. So now, just like we've been doing since the beginning of the semester, we're going to solve the equation for x. So I want to get my letters on one side and my numbers on the other. I'm going to choose to move the 5 because it's the bigger number in front of x. 5 is bigger than the 1. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides. I don't have my little drawing pad today, so that's why my writing is so bad. So these 5x's cancel. Negative 1 plus 5 gives me 4x minus 1 equals 3. Then I'm going to move my 1 to the other side using addition to have my new equation of 4x equals 4. Then I'm going to divide by 4 to get the x by itself, and I get x equals 1. Now, my answer is going to be an ordered pair, so I have my 1 for x. Now I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to take 1 and substitute it into either equation to solve for y. I'm going to use equation 2 just because it's smaller numbers. So wherever I see x in this equation, I'm going to put 1. I like to put parentheses so that I don't get confused. So I know that the negative is being multiplied by the 1, so I get negative 1. And then I can solve. Negative 1 subtract 1 gives me negative 2. So then I have my second answer, or my y coordinate, which is negative 2. So my answer as an ordered pair is 1, negative 2. So if I had graphed these, I would get the answer 1, negative 2 as well. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do a third method next week, which is called elimination. And then when we take the quiz, it's up to you. You get to choose if you're going to solve by graphing it, doing substitution, or elimination. I'm going to do another example. It might cut me off, but I'll make another video if it does. So I can choose either of these to be my blob. I'm going to go ahead and use the top equation because it's positive numbers. So I circle everything after the equal sign in my y equals equation. Then I'm going to substitute it into the second equation for y. So I have 4x minus 1 equals negative 2x plus 5. Now I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to move my 2x over to the other side. That way my x stays positive. And 4 plus 2 gives me 6x. And then the negative 1 comes down. These 2's cancel, and I'm left with 5. Now I'm going to add 1 to both sides to get the x by itself, and I get 6x equals 6. Now to get the x by itself, I'm going to divide by 6 to both sides, and I get x equals 1. Now I'm going to solve for y. Oh, I have 30 seconds. Okay. So 4x minus 1. I'm going to plug in my x value of 1. 4 times 1 gives me 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. So my answer is 1, 3.